Hello, friends. You're listening to Profoundish. I'm today's host, Weston. I'll be joined by Alex shortly, and today is the marketing episode where we're going to talk about marketing, sponsorships, and play a little game at the end where Alex takes on many dubious sponsorships that require him to do a number of terrifying tasks. What does it all mean? You're going to find out. You're listening to Profoundish. This clap does not slap, you know what I'm saying?
Like, is this clap don't slap. If that clap don't slap, then you should take a nap, because you're too tired.
No cap.
No cap.
Chap.
Am I out of rhymes? Ah, dang it! Mr. Poetry. Of course, then again, a lot of your poetry doesn't even rhyme, so that's a bad excuse. Lap. Run a lap, old chap. And look at that map. That's all I got. See, it's funny because my music doesn't rhyme either.
Keep up the rap.
Keep up the rap. Man, you got me beat here. That's the thing. If you've, I know you've listened to my album. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like, I don't think a single one of my songs actually rhymes, and so like, I'm just not well versed in rhyming. I've always been bad at rhyming in songs, so I thought no one says you have to rhyme. Like, there's no right or wrong. So I just thought, cut out the rhyme so I can actually say what I really want to say without having to compromise what words I use.
There's no right or wrong. There's no rhyme or reason.
Oh, my God. I quit Profoundish. I quit.
Welcome to a hasty podcast, everybody.
Yeah, he just converts it over. Like, you and I have a horrible breakup, and you just, like, rebrand all of the podcasts. You change the thumbnails.
This podcast does better numbers than a hasty podcast. I'm just moving it over. So I'm stealing the audience.
Oh, that's hilarious. I learned on our listening back to parts of our drunk episode, speaking of podcast names, when I was already too far gone and you like stepped away to get a drink or the bathroom or something like that, I accidentally called this podcast the Two Piece Podcast.
Did you? Oh, yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, I did.
Stephanie
Which
will
is
love
perfect
that.
because I did that to Steph once. So, and I call it Profoundish. So it is perfect. That kind of levels things out.
It pays it back a little bit.
Yeah.
You're even
so.
now.
That's right. No, I can't mess up again.
God, I need to. I haven't done it yet. I need to re-listen to that because obviously I was there, but I also clearly don't remember all of what we even talked about. It's just because it was like a 3-hour for everyone listening. This was like what two weeks ago episode 28. We're on episode 31. We crested 30. We're more than halfway to 50.
That's
which
great.
Is like,
that's awesome.
Which, when we get to episode 50, that'll be our 51st episode because we had an episode 0. That's about a year. We're almost a year in. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Time flies. It's been fun.
But that was a 3-hour episode, and I don't hardly remember what the heck did we talk about for 3
I know.
hours?
So, like, because clearly for those of you who listened, who are with us every week, you know that I feel like I held up pretty well, and then by like that final 25%, I just dipped out. It was over. And because I was piecing, to be honest with you, I was editing these and I just wanted to make sure that I didn't say something that I really probably needed to remove. I'm just being honest.
Right.
Because, you lose your sense of, what's reasonable to say on a podcast that we try to keep, kind of PG to PG-13. So I just kind of wanted to listen, and everything was okay. But it was funny listening back, even when I was talking like this. Once I listened back, I did recall having those conversations. But if you would have asked me, like, the only thing I don't remember is that somebody joked on Twitter about like me talking about don't go drunking.
Don't go drunking.
Don't go drunking waterfalls. No, but I said don't go hunting while you're drunk. Which I'm glad I was giving that advice, because that is bad advice. Or good advice, I mean. That's a bad idea. And I don't remember that, but really everything else, once I was like skimming through, I was like, oh yeah, we did talk about that. but we got deep. That was like the perfect example of profoundish and what it means at its core.
Yeah.
Because we'll graze around these deeper topics, but then someone says something stupid and we move on. Like that really is kind of the essence of profoundish, honestly.
Yeah, it's
when you think about it.
When you think of, we never came up with, we mentioned this like in an early episode. I don't know if it was like 0 or 1 or 2, where we need to come up with like a slogan or something for the podcast, but I don't know what it would be, because I think, when you think profound, like the word profound, you think of something that's deep and a little intangible. What's the word? Intangible.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to grasp a concept, but it's just outside of being easily defined. That's what I think of when I think of profound.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't know how to slogan that in a way that captures what it is we do here on this podcast.
I get it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just think like looking at it from a little more simple lens. I like the idea because I feel like we didn't plan this, because obviously this was just a name that I had on the list and we just picked it. So this wasn't like pre-planned, of course. You heard us pick it on the podcast, but
right.
But as it's developed, and I think about not even just the show and how we talk to each other, but just how we talk to each other off the show. We talk about so many things, and we do cover deeper topics. We do like to get introspective and retrospective, depending on what we're talking about. And I feel like we do go over these concepts from time to time, but there's also that just element of we're also just silly, and we make silly jokes a lot. And I think Profoundish has really ended up being like the perfect definition for how you and I specifically talk with each other and have conversations. Like it kind of was like what's the word? It was almost like destiny, like it was meant to happen, like that name.
Right.
Because it really is kind of, I think, how we cover our conversations. Because contrary to popular belief, we talk about things more than just YouTube. Especially if you listen to our, that's one of our go-tos because we both have that in common. But if you listen to any of our longer episodes, like I like to think about our Valentine's Day one is a big one. We covered some pretty deep stuff in that one. And even, I know I was drinking a lot, and I know you had a few to drink too, just in the drunk one. Like that one, we covered kind of grazed, which is where the ish comes in. Because we don't do deep dives, but every once in a while we get a little deep. We get a few feet in there,
Yeah, I guess that definitely is the ish part, where it's like you just don't know what. It's almost like maybe now I'm being too deep about it, where a lot of this podcast is us two as friends covering topics that interest us, but also learning more about each other in the topics that we're pushing, and then playing games to make it fun or whatever. It's that sort of life hits you when you least expect it in the most unexpected ways. So we'll be doing a show that's talking about YouTube or video games, and then we're playing some tier list video game, and then you have bam, hard cut to like the Valentine's episode where we're talking about like relationships and stuff, or the drunk episode where I don't even remember what we talked about, but then just bam, deep stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. And that's where the ish is. It really is kind of very representative of how we do the show and how we just are as friends. So it ended up really being like, I think, like just a great name. Like I can't picture it. No, once again, we're just used to it, but I can't picture it being anything else. Like I remember like One Long Lunch Break. That one stands out. I know that was I know that was in the running, I think. Can't remember what the other ones were.
That one is a good one. I that was one that I think I came up with, and I liked it a lot.
Yep.
What were the other ones? There was another one that was close to Profoundish that I think we liked, but I don't remember them all. I have to go back and re-listen.
I remember having two, like, I remember thinking something-ish would be funny. And my idea, this is why we work good as a team, because my idea was calling it, like, profound ... ish.
Right.
Like, no, just make it one word. Like, let's make up a word, profoundish. And then I also had one, I think, similar. It was, like, called, like, smart-ish or something like that. It was another ish, and it just didn't ring as well as profoundish did, I guess. But I know that. I can't remember any of the other ones, really.
All of that being said... everything we've talked about. No. All of that being said, if we could pick the ultimate, like, ideal sponsor for the show, who would it be?
Okay, are we thinking of a sponsor that would really be representative of kind of our branding?
Yes. Like, all of what we've talked about for the pod, this is just pie in the sky. We have no sponsorships or whatever that we're advertising right now. And maybe we shouldn't, like, try to name names in case we have competitors or maybe we shouldn't, but whatever this podcast is, a lot of podcasts have sponsors because they don't usually make a lot of, like, ad money. So they'll be, like, advertising, you know, whatever, vitamins or something. And that's how they make their money. It's affiliate marketing, blah, blah, blah. If we could pick, like, anybody, like, we could just pitch to anybody, like, hey, we got this podcast, and they're going to say yes. Who would we want to be, like, the ideal Profoundish sponsor that would fit our concept?
Well, I've got some ideas, actually, like, already. I think it would, or at least an idea, because I do really appreciate the fact that we do kind of dig deep on certain things, and then at the same time we'll make just really stupid jokes, like, don't go drunk in waterfalls, you know, like, it's a good mix. Which that's a part of life that's important too. Just be silly. Don't take things too seriously. So that being said, I feel like, and some people use this as a sponsor, and it doesn't have to be these particular people, but like BetterHelp. Some people are sponsored by BetterHelp. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, that kind of has to do with the mind. That's online. I think it's just online, like therapy, and you know, we don't obviously have to get into the whole thing of therapy and what it does and stuff, but I mean, that's a great way, you know, that's obviously very introspective, and we are very introspective with ourselves and each other, and I feel like that kind of is a good representation, because I don't know, I guess your takes on therapy, but I highly doubt you think it's a bad decision for anybody to do it. No. So, I don't know, I think that'd be pretty good. I'm a huge advocate for it myself. I don't currently go to any therapist, but I definitely think anybody could benefit from having that outsider's perspective kind of help you look at yourself. So from a professional. So that's more serious, but like I feel like that would kind of fit a little bit.
I think it would. I think that's that is a common one. You do see a lot, like YouTubers or whatever, the BetterHelp. And I think there's another service, a competitor that I've seen, but I can't think of who they are now off the top of my head. That would be a good one, like therapy for, like, well, you know, whatever the case might be, since we do kind of delve into that profound aspect of the joys of life, and then the whatever other the deeper topics, you know, the combination of the two. I think that would be an interesting fit. I think that would make sense.
Yeah, I think so. Do you have any at top of your head?
I struggle to try to think of like a one. See, I was actually angling at the opposite end, because we play a lot of games at the end of our shows, and we kind of focus mostly on like entertainment. I was almost thinking like an entertainment streaming service, something like a Netflix, a Hulu, and Amazon. Oh, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking, and I was bouncing back and forth between like that, or you see a lot of those science channels advertise like Nebula, or what's I think there's another one. I can't think of it though. But like Nebula, which is it's like a streaming service, but it's more education based. Because I was thinking the education based would be kind of more like the profound side. But since we don't do a lot of like research for anything on this podcast other than like our topics, maybe more like the entertainment. So it'd be like, oh, we'll be advertised by Amazon Prime or something, and they'll have like some new show or something, and we would advertise those or something.
I think if there was like a streaming service that was specifically more like edutainment, I think that's a great mix that kind of represents a little bit our brand. Like we're not here to educate, but edutainment's a great example of something that kind of fits, because you learn things, but it's also kind of fun. And like for us, we're mainly learning things about ourselves or each other, but that's still learning things. You know, something like this isn't necessarily like edutainment, but maybe the other platform you were thinking of was CuriosityStream. Was that what you were thinking of?
Yes.
Which I, by the way, use, and it is awesome. If you like documentaries, it's really cool. Super cheap, too. It's like $20 a year or something.
Yeah, I've thought about picking it up because it's so cheap. Because I don't really watch a lot of like I pay for Netflix and I rarely use it. So I'm like, it's so cheap, and I wouldn't feel bad about paying for it if I don't use it a lot because it's so cheap. I've thought about that one. I haven't pulled the trigger on it though.
I recommend it. Because when I'm on YouTube, all I'm really watching usually is like informational stuff for the most part these days, and Curiosity Stream is literally Netflix, but with documentaries. And they range in quality, but I'd say it's well worth the $20 a year, and you can learn all kinds of things. So recommend it if you're just kind of not sure what to watch. We can just throw on like a 45-minute doc about, I don't know, Pompeii, whatever. It could be anything. That's just an example. I only thought that because I saw like this whole thing about Pompeii, and it was kind of a relearning because I haven't thought about the whole Pompeii thing and, since like grade school or something.
I can't think of Pompeii without thinking about Julius Caesar from our Caesar project. Our buddy Justin playing a high-pitched version of Caesar. I killed Pompeii with this stick.
What a great start. So much fun. We should really go through that sometime, and maybe like find a little clip that we can just show people. Hey, did I tell you that I'm remastering it, by the way?
Yeah, you've only been remastering it since it came out over 10 years ago. Yeah, for 15 years.
That was a joke because you know that, yeah. One day it'll be remastered when we're all like 90. But anyway, we should talk about that in some episode too. That'd be fun. There's so many fun stories behind the scenes.
There's a lot there. And then just any other video project, Behind the Shades, etc.
Mm-hmm.
If... I almost want to go the other direction. Like, is there a sponsor that we absolutely would not want to be sponsored by? But like, all I would think about, the first thing that came to my mind was like BitConnect. That I don't remember if BitConnect. I don't even remember what they are. They were like a Bitcoin trading company or something like that. That was just a massive scam or something. I don't remember.
I don't know if I have any that I think would just be completely against the grain with us, but I can just think of ones that just personally I would think are just so dumb, but it's kind of like the cliches, like your Raid Shadow Legends, because that's just we talk about video games. Like I'm not saying but that's just one of those like really Raid Shadow Legends like that. No, and maybe that's just it's kind of the stereotype. Is it good?
I did a one-shot episode on my long neglected Magic Man Mo mobile gaming channel on YouTube. I did a one-off. I'm like, I always see these freaking ads everywhere. I'm going to actually play it, see what it's like. And I just did a one-shot, so it was like 20-30 minutes of playing it or whatever. It was good. I don't know if it gets grindy or whatever, but it's good. It's not like a scam of a game or whatever. Like the ads weren't like far off from what you're actually playing, because you see that a lot with mobile game ads where it's like those darn like puzzles or whatever you see everywhere, like on Twitter ads or whatever. It's like pull the stick and release the lava or whatever, and then you click on the game and it's another frickin' city builder or something.
It's totally different. Yeah,
right. It's just ridiculous.
Well, that reminds me of so the actor Pedro Pascal has been all over social media.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So he and there's this one, and mainly because of Last of Us, obviously. And I know you're not a huge fan of the game, but man, I watched that show. Woo! It was good. But I'm also biased because I love the game. That being said, he was in this commercial or this ad, and it looked like it was going to be like a show, like a detective show. And I'm like, ooh, I like him. Let's see what this is about. It was an ad for a freaking game. And like, it was actually like a fully produced, like, he's like, I just can't find the killer. And he's like at the computer and he's like a detective and it's this whole thing. And it ends up just being this stupid, like cheap mobile game.
Really? Okay.
They got him to do that. Yeah. It was weird. Like it really looked like a show. And I'm sure that's what they were banking on, of course. People go, oh, he's in another like drama. Let's check it out. And it's a mobile game.
These mobile games make so much money now that they can pump so much into marketing it. Right.
That makes sense. I mean, the thing is, clearly they can pump a lot of money into it because there's some decent, like, A-list, B-list celebrities who are clearly it's worth the time or worth the money for them to do it. I've seen some pretty decent names just read from a script and go, hey, I love this game. When I'm not working, I'm playing this game. I've seen these. I've seen them a few times. I'm thinking, I can't believe they had to have paid this celebrity a decent amount of money to take the time to read off an ad for a mobile game. That's crazy.
Well, I've even seen those figures thrown around with, like, talking about Raid Shadow Legends. I think that was one, and I think there's another game, too. I don't remember what it was called. But where some of the figures that have been thrown around for some of the bigger YouTubers, where they were being offered 6 figures to just do an ad spot for them or whatever. And that's just YouTubers, let alone, like, a celebrity. And it's like, good God.
Wow.
And they're doing this, like, with so many people. It's like, how much money is this game raking in?
Right. That's what you got to think about. You got to think about, wow, they're clearly successful in the money they're getting for this game, or else they wouldn't be pumping that much money, at least long term, into getting people to talk about it. That's crazy. I have a question for you. This actually just came up with another friend of mine the other day. So when it comes to watching content that has sponsorships in it, and I'm talking specifically YouTube, that sponsorships have existed since the dawn of television entertainment. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of like YouTube, right? Because that's, for a long time, especially when they started really getting popular years ago now, it was kind of a controversial topic. Like, why are you doing sponsorships, whatever. That's not what I'm asking. But what I'm asking is, for you as a viewer, when you're watching your favorite creator or any creator, and assuming that there is going to be a sponsor section in the video, would you rather it be just kind of up front and saying, and either like at the end or at the beginning, but very clear, hey, this video is sponsored by so-and-so, and then they go into their 1-minute ad or whatever? Or, because I've seen it both ways, or would you prefer, for your viewing experience, have it be more flush with the video, like it's kind of snuck in? What do you prefer? I have a strong opinion about this. I'm curious what yours is.
The one... I don't see this very often, probably because it's probably less effective. The one that, as a viewer, I prefer is, and I see this more with videos that are actually like scripted or structured, as opposed to like gaming or whatever, where the video will start. You're watching blah blah blah. I'm so and so. This episode is sponsored by such and such. More on that later. So like it's just like just a few seconds to mention the name or whatever, and then the ad doesn't come till the end of the video. As a viewer, that's great, because if I don't care, then I'm not being interrupted. Now that's probably a less effective strategy, which is why most of them are the full 30 seconds to a minute right at the beginning or somewhere in the middle, like you were saying.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, is that when I mean in the middle, I don't mean just, because like say it's a video and it's like a top 5. What you see commonly would be they do their number 5, maybe their number 4, and then they do the ad, and then they go back to 3, 2, 1, or something like that. Sometimes they do 5, then they go to the ad, then 4, 3, 2, 1. But I've seen creators, one of my creators that I watch consistently, he sneaks it. And I think, and I look at the comments, and what I mean by sneak it is literally it almost fits the narrative of the actual content of the video. And then he just gets into it. The next thing you know, you're watching an ad. It's not just like a cut. It's actually like this kind of a blend into it. And I've looked at the comments because I thought, this seems sneaky. And the comments are all like, hey, loved how you transitioned into that sponsorship. I'm thinking, what? Like, for me, and maybe I'm the weird one, but to me that seems, I'd rather you just tell me, just like all other forms of entertainment, just tell me there's going to be a sponsorship if there's going to be one. Let's get it out of the way and move on. I don't actually like that, because next thing, it's almost like subliminal. Because next thing you know, you're in the middle of a sponsorship and I didn't even know it. But some people, I guess, like that. So I was just curious if you've come across that particular way of approaching it and how you feel about it.
I think I don't run into it much. Although that does bring up the FCC concern, where advertisements have to be like very clearly marked
intentional
as advertisements. Otherwise, you're in violation of FCC. And I think I don't know about Europe as a whole. I think there's an English commission as well that's very similar, and they have rules as well. So if you don't clearly market this stuff and you don't have it like in the description and you're marked as an ad or what, if you don't do those things, you could potentially be in violation. So depending on how sneaky we're talking, like just a smooth transition is fine. But if it's something like where a lot of people have gotten into trouble is like paid product placements in YouTube videos are really not for whatever reason, they're fine on TV, but like in YouTube videos, they're not okay, according to the FCC. Figure out that double standard. I don't know, but that's, if it's sneaky enough, you start kind of getting that weird question where, like you said, it's like subliminal, or if you can't easily tell, like, were they paid for this product placement, or are they just, doing a bit, right? Like, we're talking about marketing now, and we were talking about BetterHelp or Netflix or what. They did not pay us. If they did, and I'm doing this whole episode themed around, like, say we got paid by Netflix, hypothetically, to do this theme episode to talk about marketing, I brought up Netflix, I would have to clearly indicate, oh, by the way, Netflix is sponsoring this video. Let's talk about Netflix. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between just casually, like, dropping in a product because it's a part of your bit or your sketch or your script versus they paid you money to do it. Mm-hmm. So it depends on how sneaky it is.
That's fair. I've given a lot of thought to, like, the sponsorship game and, like, how that would look, assuming my my particular content, or even ours, continues to grow and develop and gets more eyes on it. I think so. I've gotten, and I know you have too, like, if you count ones that aren't real, we've both probably gotten dozens and dozens of offers so far. I believe I've gotten one or two ones that were legit,
right,
over the last couple of years. I did the research; the company seemed legit, and then my decision ended up being, it just wouldn't be lucrative enough for either them or me, in my opinion, to do this. And then the way I look at it too is, because right now there's just not enough eyes on what I do in the long term. And I also see it as they end up winning, because that is always on that video. So unless I re-upload that video, which I could do, that will always be on that video, especially if I plug it right in the middle, whatever. I know some people might have the idea that, well, I'll just do that, then I'll re-upload it, but you don't always want to do that. So I think about that stuff. Like, they will always get that free advertisement, but I won't always get paid on that. So I think about that kind of bigger picture stuff too. Like, it really has to be, I think, lucrative for it to really be worth me putting it in there. And right now I'm just not at that point.
Because I know I've definitely done sponsored videos myself, actually, on the Magic Mode channel. And like, value proposition, like, if any one of those sponsored videos, like, blew up and got a lot of eyeballs on it or whatever, maybe the sponsor is getting away with a better deal than because I don't have a lot of eyeballs watching my stuff either. Actually, part of the negotiation is kind of like, well, scratch my back, scratch yours, right? Like, if you want more eyeballs, help me market this video, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or, share it on social media, that kind of thing. That way, the more people that see this video, that helps maybe my channel grow, gets numbers to my channel, but also it's an advertisement for your game, since I do games on that channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done stuff like that before where it's really cheap marketing, but, like, it's kind of like I'm negotiating that no one's really winning over the other, because I made it both mutually beneficial that this video succeed. So there's that aspect of it. Or what's also very common with marketing like that is affiliate marketing. So, like, say you had an affiliate, and if you put that in your video, it's always in that video. They're always getting that advertising. But if every time they use your link or whatever, you're getting a kickback on that, then at least that permanence, you are still getting paid from that, even if it's, not a bunch up front for making the video to begin with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That reminds me of how just you and your Amazon affiliate stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, I gotta get better at that.
I do. I take on a bunch of random things that I don't really advertise very well. Are you into energy drinks?
No, I'm not.
Would you like
but
to
feel
be?
free. Oh, let's hear this. Let's hear your sales pitch. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Are you trying to get sugary energy drinks out of your life? Trying to kick Monster to the curb? Red Bull's not for you? Would you like to drink more water and throw a little bit of powder in it, mix it up, and have something taste great and give you long-lasting energy with no jitters? Dubby.gg, that's D-U-B-B-Y, Dubby.gg, okay. Use my code HASTY, H-A-S-T-Y, for 10% off your purchase.
All right, Weston, listen, we got to talk sales. I was in sales for a long time. Sales is, directly related to marketing in a lot of ways. So if we're talking about marketing, let's talk about this. So you're going to pitch me something, and you need to try and overcome my objections. Okay?
Yeah.
Sales 101 here.
Sure.
So go ahead and sell me a product. I don't care what it is. You can try and even make it.
You need this pencil.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Tell me why I need this pencil.
I guess it's usually a pen, isn't it? You need this pen.
Right.
Yeah.
Do I?
You do.
I'm just kidding. Well,
this is a pen. Works in space. It works underwater.
Oh wow!
You're going to be in both those things.
That's a good pen.
You're good. I don't have a pen here to sell you. I'm just making up a product. It shoots lasers.
It is kind of crazy how basically any business is literally sales and marketing. Any business. It might be a different industry. It's not the sales industry or whatever, but everything is selling something. And that's always an interesting thought, and that needs to be marketed.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds maybe kind of duh, but if you think about when you think about a hospital, the medical field, that, you don't have to market that. It's well, yeah, you do. You're selling services to these people. You're selling surgeries and medicine and pharmaceutical stuff and parts for surgery, in your knees or whatever. Everything is sales. It's actually kind of crazy when you think about it.
Especially in America. I think hospitals and I think medications, I think in Europe, or maybe it's England or something, it's illegal to advertise those or maybe that's just illegal on TV or something. Something to do with their healthcare policy over there. But here in the States, I've definitely seen ads for hospitals on TV. I definitely have.
Sure. And even internally, there's different pharmaceutical companies trying to get into these big hospitals, trying to get their products to be sold and prioritized for for patients.
Right.
So it's all over. You can't escape it. And I've learned working in direct sales and then transitioning my day job into marketing, I've learned that I love marketing much better than the actual nitty-gritty sales. There's a place for sales. You got to have it. Some people are literally, in my opinion, I've met a lot, born to do it. They just have those personalities. For me, I'd rather learn what makes people interested in something, because marketing is much more about, it's huge. Marketing is huge, but it's a lot more about, target audiences, learning why people like what they like. There's some psychology and sociology in there.
Oh, it's huge.
So it's a lot more than just making an ad. So, and that's much more interesting to me than the actual selling part, right? Once the marketing's there, then the salespeople can get in there, and you already are familiar with this, which is the point of marketing. Now let's get them in, right? Then they're the front line that gets it done.
I look forward to seeing one day when you do sell out and find a sponsor. I want to see I'm looking forward to seeing what ads you pitch.
See, and see, that's the thing. That's another thing. Is I'm not one of those people that's I'll never do sponsorships. I just want it to be. I do stand by this. I will only do sponsorships, and you can mark my words. Whatever time this is on the podcast, I'll only do it for products that I actually believe in. I see my YouTube as I don't ever really see it as, especially with my content.
I wouldn't want to advertise a product I've never at least used. That would be
sure. Well, absolutely.
That just feels like a shot in the dark. I'm going to advertise this thing and it's crap or a scam or something.
Yeah, because I do like to play devil's advocate, because there's some people out there viewers who are these sponsorships are just getting out of hand. They're ridiculous. But it's have you watched cable television?
Yeah, God.
It's everywhere. Just because it wasn't, we were lucky to not have it on YouTube for however long it was until they really started to get popular.
I was watching a clip of Spy Kids 3. I don't know why, but I just got sucked into watching this clip. It was from their CGI racing scene or whatever it was. But I was watching this clip. It just, on the screen, they were going into a tunnel, but above the tunnel was the AMD logo. And I definitely don't remember that product placement as a kid, but I was like, it's just there. I'm like, it's just in the movie. It's sponsored by AMD, but they don't have to disclose that in movies and TV for some reason. So even when you're not watching an ad, it's everywhere.
It is everywhere. So trust me, those of you who are complaining about it being in a YouTube video, I think we've all accepted it now, but for those of you who did, it's like, you've always seen sponsorships. Consider yourself lucky to not have seen them for so long in YouTube. Honestly.
Right. It's more accepted, though, on YouTube than it used to be. It used to be, because I said sell out earlier. That's because back in the day, like, if you did seek out a sponsorship, God forbid you wanted to make a dime trying to, like, do something creative. If you did that, you were a sellout and a hack, and, you're going to get canceled. Back before being canceled was a phrase yet. But now it's a lot more accepted and kind of expected, honestly. Well, I look forward to seeing you advertise Raid Shadow Legends halfway through a 3-minute medley.
Could you imagine? Yeah, just halfway through. Before we get to it. Or I do it in song form. They'd like that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I sing the ads. Remember Nakey Jakey?
Yeah.
What he used to do, I don't know if he still does it. I haven't seen him do much lately, but like when he first started to get a bunch of Patreon like support, one of his things was, I'll read your name off, but he started to like sing and rap the names. Like in a song at the end of every video. I don't know if you remember that. So he would just go through all these names with a beat.
Pokemon rap of all these names.
So I might do that. That might be fun.
That'd be fun. Hey, we're getting a little long in the tooth on this section of the episode. I think we need to move on to our second half. What do you say?
I think we should. You know what? I changed my mind. Let's stay in this first section longer.
Okay, I mean, we can do that. I can sit here and advertise.
He's like, okay. All right.
Speaking of ads, we've got a couple short ads by us for you to listen to, and then we'll be right back.
Cue the Raid Shadow Legends. Like
Raid Shadow Legends. Profoundish is brought to you in part by Magic Man Mo, a gaming YouTube channel run by me. We stream and we do variety Let's Plays. Check out a short stream compilation to see if it's something that you're going to be into. It's a lot of fun. I made it, so I know. That's Magic Man Mo on YouTube.
Profoundish is brought to you in part by Alex Duquette Medleys. I make theme song medleys, which is where I take a bunch of theme songs and mash them up into one bite-sized song. From Nickelodeon to Adult Swim, I cover it all. So, if you want to take a fun nostalgic trip, search my name, Alex Duquette, on YouTube, or go to alexduquette.net.
Hey, Alex.
Oh, he's getting right into it. All right, hey.
Hey, Alex.
Hey.
It's the marketing episode.
Woohoo! Throwing staplers and charts and demographic line graphs and what else we throwing in the air? Just other office supplies. Billboards.
And you're the next contestant of Would You Rather Be a Millionaire? Sponsorship Edition.
Nice! It's been so long since we played this. I'm excited. It's the marketing episode.
It's the marketing episode. I didn't want to give it away at the beginning of this episode.
Right. I like it.
I didn't mind going a little long in the first section because this section's it might, I don't know how long it'll take us, but I've got fewer questions to ask you this time. We're going to start right away at $1 instead of 1 penny. I've got a little less, but
sure, okay.
But I think the not what's the word I'm looking for, the scale, no, the risk, what's the word I'm looking for? The risk gets higher as we go. So
sure, okay.
For those of you unfamiliar with the game, Alex is going to be presented with a series of would you rathers, and he's going to pick one or the other, or to take home whatever money he's earned up to that point. So the first question, he's earned nothing. He has to pick one, the other, or leave. But then as he goes on, he'll keep earning potentially more money, and he can take the money and run, or he can choose one of the would you rathers. That's the rules. I'm a little less good at describing the rules of this than I was the Never Have I Ever Oprah game.
You got so good at that.
And this time, is all about sponsorships. We were talking about how you haven't really taken on any sponsors yet. Alex, you're going to be presented with several different sponsors as we progress that you're going to have to take on or take the money and run.
Oh boy. Okay.
We're finding you these sponsors right now. They're all lined up in the back. They're all very excited to work with you, but they do come with some very strange stipulations.
Uh-oh.
Where you will be required to do one thing or the other.
Oh boy.
So, our first question. It's worth $1. Right now you've earned nothing, but it's worth $1. Would you rather wear a shirt sponsoring Gibson guitars every day of your life, or a pair of pants sponsored by Fender every day of your life? Their logo is very clear and distinctive. You have to represent one or the other or go home.
I love this. If these are going to be brands that I'm familiar with.
This is the one that I figured wouldn't be too hard for you.
Not at all. I am a Fender advocate, so I will be wearing the pants in this relationship.
Could be wearing pants with the Fender emblazoned. I like to imagine that the logo is across your butt.
Can I change them to booty shorts? They're Fender booty shorts.
I think so. I think you'll get sent from Fender every season, a couple of different choices of pants. It won't be the same one pair of pants. You got to rep their brand. You got to be wearing fresh duds, right? So they'll be sending you some booty shorts.
Well, let's face it. Booty shorts are going to attract more eyes, and that's kind of the point. They're going to be looking at my butt, and they're going to see Fender. So, yeah, definitely. As long as the booty shorts come too, I will pick Fender every day.
All right. So with your choice, you've locked in a sponsorship with Fender for the rest of your life, but all your pants are Fender branded.
Nice. Love
Moving on. This is the $10 question. You can choose to take your $1 that you've earned so far and go home with your Fender sponsorship, or one day a week, all your meals have to either be Subway, sponsored by Subway, or one day a week, all your meals have to be McDonald's, and you're sponsored by McDonald's.
If you would have asked me 5 years ago, that would have been a tough question. These days, it's actually pretty easy. I would pick Subway every day. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't want to make them too happy. So, yeah, one day a week, I will eat Subway, 100%. I love the smell of it. I love the taste of it. It's good.
The idea behind this sponsorship, of course, is because all your meals are Subway. You will be traveling around with your, Subway. If you're out to eat, you'll be seen. You're a very prominent figure. Maybe you're carrying your Subway bag around. This is basically just guarantee, you're going to have to talk about it because one day a week, it's what you're all about, basically.
Yeah. There's no issues there. Can I get the cookies, too? Is it pretty much anything from Subway? I can choose
anything
what I'm eating that day?
I thought about it. I almost thought about entirely your meals have to be exclusively Subway cookies or McDonald's fries.
Oh
just the side, not even the actual meal.
Ugh. Well, there's a lot of variants because I could do, you can get at least you used to be able to get your sandwiches in salad form, so I can avoid the bread if I want. They do soup.
That's true.
Do you still do soup?
My location does it seasonally. I think some locations do it year round.
So they're soup. Yeah, there's a lot of options. I'm totally down for this. I really want this to happen.
I like how you said 10 years ago this would have been harder. Would you have been leaning McDonald's?
Well, not even 10. I'd say 5 or 6 years ago. I lovingly call it the Fat Alex days. So I was just eating a crap ton of fast food, and McDonald's was probably my biggest hook. So that would have been a tougher decision. So
imagine locking that in 6 years ago, and now you get to where you are now today, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired of it.
It's what have I done?
Why? All right. You've locked in your $10 question. You are now sponsored by Fender and Subway. Required to wear
sandwich
Fender
and
pants.
Booty shorts.
Fender booty shorts at a Subway.
I love it.
We're at our $100 question now. This one starts to get a little weirder, all right? People are going to know about this, right? You're becoming a bit more prominent of a figure. I mean, you've got some really big name brands kind of backing you, right? You're becoming a little bit more of a celebrity, right? People kind of know you, right? Around town or whatever. Once a month, you either have to bathe in Pepsi, sponsored by Pepsi, or shower in Coke, sponsored by Coke. They're going head to head with your attentions. Are you a Pepsi man? A Coke man? Are you a bath man? Are you a shower man? What's your choice?
It's like,
the whole world is like waiting with bated breath.
They've been waiting. How will Alex bathe and pop? They've been wondering this. I'm just trying to picture myself. So I'm gonna go in there, put my sandwich on the bathroom counter, take off my skivvy down, take off my booty shorts.
Yeah,
hop
yeah.
in. What am I? I had to give you that visual. What am I? They're just like, yeah, the booty shorts are just on the floor, just like as it would look if you were just to take them off and leave them there. Here's the thing. So when it comes to actually drinking pop, I really don't drink pop, but when I did, I drank Pepsi. So I would consider myself a Pepsi guy. Now, but the bathing and shower thing.
Yeah.
So baths are relaxing for me. I mean, I only bathe like once a year. Like it's not, I don't consider myself a bath guy. I'm a shower guy, but I feel like a shower, you can just, all right, hurry this up, get it done, get out. But because I don't want to just sit there and stew in like Pepsi for like 40 minutes. Because like it's just getting everywhere. I can like kind of like do like a cheap shower and try and kind of avoid getting the Coke in places it doesn't need to be. Because I can go back the next day and shower with water.
I also
again.
imagine you're like looking up at the shower head and just Coke being sprayed into your face.
My eyes are burning.
It's getting in your hair.
Yeah, my hair would be so gross and syrupy. Like, ugh.
Because Pepsi's like the same way, but you can kind of avoid getting your head in a bath, You
know what? That's a great point that you actually gave me. I'm going to bathe in Pepsi. So not only am I representing the brand that I would prefer anyway, but also I can keep my head clear. Yeah, I'm going to bathe in Pepsi. I'm going to do it.
You're locking in your sponsorship with Pepsi. Required to bathe. The whole world knows about this. You will be bathing in Pepsi once a month.
The once a month I have like a Twitch stream going of me just bathe, just a bath stream.
Pepsi
me and Pepsi.
Would you say I don't bathe either. I don't take baths. I'm a shower guy as well. I don't know the last time I actually had a bath. Is 40 minutes? Like, is that a good typical bath time? How long do you think people take in a bath? I don't actually know. If
you're taking a bath for leisure, I feel like it would be in like an hour or more.
Right.
Because it's really
like
about the relaxing part. But I would say, like, once again, I give myself one time a year, and I usually actually will take a bath. Like, I'll throw on a podcast or I'll read something. Like, I really do that. And usually I'm in there for, like, at least 40 minutes, sometimes more.
Okay. Because I know I take long showers. I can take a 15-minute shower, but that's a long shower.
Yeah.
But, like, I was like, I don't know about a bath. I feel like
I'd
want to get out of bath quick once it started getting kind of cool, though. I'm a hot
once it gets
tub
cool.
guy.
Yes, I hear you. Yeah, once it gets cool, sometimes what I'll do is I'll drain the water and put in more hot water. I'll do that sometimes, but usually by that point I'm pruny and it's just time to get out anyway.
Right. All right. You are now sponsored by Pepsi, Subway, and Fender.
Heck yeah.
Bathing in Pepsi, eating Subway, wearing pants, booty shorts. Your Fender booty shorts. I like how that wasn't a stipulation, but that's what it is now. All right. Your $1,000 question. You can either take home your $100 and leave, or every time you're sick, you are visited by a very real-life version, and you just have to deal with this like for the rest of the day while you're sick. The Mucinex blob. Sponsored by Mucinex. Or every time it's ever a 100-degree day, it's hot, 100 degrees or hotter or whatever, you are visited by, and in the way that you would imagine you would be visited by, the Kool-Aid Man.
God,
if you catch my drift. Yeah, it's not always that hot, but when it is, you're going to have a visitor not using the door. He's coming in through that wall.
My house. I mean, I guess I rent, so they can pay for it. This. Well, first of all, hey, before I go on, can you call me Billy?
All right, Billy.
All right. So I had to break that call back.
All right, Billy. Are we being sponsored by Mucinex and being visited by a giant mucus blob that, probably leaving mucus trails and is just generally a kind of a gross dude? Or are we being visited by the Kool-Aid Man?
Look, honestly, like, just in terms of damage control, I feel like it'd be a lot easier with the Mucinex guy, because here's the thing. I'm thinking about my context. I live in the South. It's 100-degree weather almost every day once it hits like June. So
it was actually, in hindsight, when I came down to visit you, it was like very hot, like that weekend or whatever. That is true.
Yes. So like, obviously I know like in Illinois, it can obviously surpass 100 too, but it does it way more here. And that's just a lot of like busted walls. And like, what if I'm at work? Like, what if I'm at work and it's a 100-degree day? I'm at my day job. I'm in the office, and then like the Kool-Aid man comes busting into the office. My boss is gonna be pissed. So,
I mean, he brings with him like a bunch of Kool-Aid. You can all cool down though.
Oh yeah, like, remember that? It'll be thousands in damage costs, but I mean, hey, oh yeah. I don't get sick very much, so I guess I'm gonna go with Mucinex. So like, I'm gonna dread when I do get sick. Because then there's going to be snot, like, just trails all across my leg. And I've got carpet, so it's going to be gross.
You know, you're kind of a clean freak a little bit, too. You're going to have to just deal with that.
I know, but listen, I'll just stress over it for a couple days, I'll get better, and I'll just clean that crap up. He's annoying, too. Like, he's got, like, an annoying voice. He talks like this, to my knowledge. He got, like, a raspiness in his voice or something, I think, if I remember.
Yeah, so, I can't remember exactly. I can't do it.
But I get sick way less often than I get over 100-degree weather, so I guess I'm going to go with Mucinex.
You're taking that Mucinex. I guess the third option was just take the money and leave, but you're now sponsored by Mucinex,
True.
Pepsi, Subway, and Fender. Locked in. The next is the $10,000 question. We're working our way up to like some real money now, right? You can either take your $1,000 or just go home. Or you got two very big people going head to head here. Every now and again, this is random. No idea how often it'll be or when it will be. Occasionally, State Farm will demand that you cause an accident on the road. Of any kind. You have to be the cause of some kind of accident.
All right.
Like, you've got like an earpiece in your ear or whatever, and State Farm's like, do it. Now is the time.
Now. That's hilarious. Okay.
Progressive will occasionally hire hits to cause an accident to you.
Oh my gosh.
So
this is like a moral dilemma.
You're still involved in an accident, but now the question is, are you causing it, or are you just going to be prepared for one to happen to you at any time, at any frequency?
I don't know if you're looking at it this deep, but this really is like a moral dilemma, because I'm either, am I going to sacrifice my own, like not knowing when I'm going to get hurt or in an accident of some kind? I guess I don't have to get hurt, or I could cause an accident to somebody else. Like, what's more important to me or other people?
This is the trolley question or something.
Oh gosh, right. So, can it be any accident? Like, can they be minor accidents?
They can be. And same thing, like Progressive can cause minor ones to you. Like, these could be fender benders or, more serious. You never know what's going to happen in an accident.
You're right. But I don't have to get in an accident with other people. So I could, like, hit a fire hydrant. That's maybe I go to, like, hit, like, a phone pole or something. Maybe that's not a good idea either. There's something I could hit that's not going to harm me. Maybe it'll harm my vehicle. But if they get on the earpiece and say, okay, Alex, now, do it. That'd be so scary, by the way. Hey, this is Jake from State Farm. Now, do it.
Take a right turn now in the lamppost.
Right. Sir, there's no turn here. Take it now. You heard me.
Straight off a bridge.
So is that the risk? Like, it could be a big accident too?
Like, you just never know what's going to happen. Like, right? Because if you're the one setting up the accidents, like, they can be minor or whatever, but like, you just never know who's going to be around, what's going to happen. Heck, you could actually set up an accident that you're not actually really involved with. You just have to cause it. Like, you could go slash a tire, maybe someone will spin out of control or something. Yeah. Same thing with Progressive though. Like, you don't know. Maybe someone will like sabotage your brakes or something. It could be serious. Maybe not.
You know what? I hear you. I would rather have control. So I guess I'm going with Progressive, and I will just
State Farm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got it mixed up.
That's okay.
Well, no,
It almost doesn't matter. State Farm will demand that you cause an accident, or Progressive will cause an accident
We'll
to
make
you.
him. Okay, then yes, I am going to State Farm. I apologize. Yeah, State Farm. I want that $10,000. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. I'll figure out like a decent way to cause an accident that's not too bad.
You are willingly this is the moral dilemma part where it's like you
I
are
know.
willingly potentially being the criminal. Now, again, you're trying to cause it to yourself, but you never know, how things are going to go. You could potentially be the doer of harm. You never know.
Listen, Billy is a risk taker. I'm doing it. I want that 10 grand.
Billy, you're locking in your State Farm sponsored accidents. I feel like they would not be okay with this as an advertisement if we were
This doesn't
actually
sound like good marketing.
Not at all. You're locking in your permanent sponsorship with State Farm, Mucinex, Pepsi, Subway, and Fender thus far. Next up, we've got your $100,000 question. Just a few left here.
Oh, man.
$100,000 question here. Samsung will occasionally send you their brand new prototype phones. They have to replace whatever phone you're currently using, and they sometimes catch fire.
I mean, I've been there. I lived that.
But
I
now
had
it's
the Note
permanent.
7. Okay.
Or Apple sends you their new prototype phones, right? And you have to replace your current phone with them. And occasionally they leak random photos of you to the internet.
Huh. Well, here's the thing. This actually isn't that difficult for me because I think overall I prefer the Android OS better. I mean, I'm currently using an iPhone, but I don't have any pictures that like I would be that embarrassed that have to have leaked.
Allow me to complicate the matter.
Oh, no.
I didn't say Apple's sending photos that you took to the internet.
Oh, boy.
Apple is sending photos of you to the internet.
Oh. So
allow
like
me to complicate matters.
Oh, boy.
And
so I could be doing
furthermore,
something that's
Samsung, like, it's not just like the Note 7 where like 7 of those phones or whatever caught fire. All of their prototypes they send you have a chance of randomly catching fire.
Okay, so you're telling me I could be in an intimate position, meaning I could be naked or I could be on the toilet or whatever, and there could be an Apple cameraman somewhere taking a picture of me and I don't even know it, and then that could later be leaked.
The photos will come from your phone, but like you use your phone on the toilet, don't you? What if you're just sitting there like scrolling Twitter and it decides, I'm going to snap a picture of this and not let Alex know.
I
send it to the internet.
Because there's random times where maybe like your phone's at just the right angle to where like that front-facing camera could see me while I'm changing my clothes or whatever.
And they don't all have to be like intimate photos. They could just be random like candid shots or whatever, but you just never know. You just never know.
You know what? I think I don't want to risk the catching on fire thing. I just think I'm going to be really careful with the placement of my phone, I guess, and go with Apple.
There.
By the way, can you call me Alex?
Billy, that's a strange request, but I'll call you Alex.
Thank you.
That put you over, though, because I feel like you were leaning towards Samsung earlier, but that put you over?
Well, I was just thinking about, like, if I can just be careful with my, just my positioning of the camera, because I would usually pick a Samsung, but if every single one's going to catch on fire, like, what do I have to do? Like, just keep it, like, in a metal barrel when I go to bed? Like, what am I don't want to have to deal with that.
That's true. That's very true. But
it's just inconvenient.
Whereas the Apple one's just going to be very, like, inconveniently invasive every now and again.
Right. As long as I just, like, always keep I keep it at the right angle to where it won't pick me up right. I'll stop using it on the toilet. I'll only have it, maybe the camera facing towards the ceiling, so it's just a picture of my ceiling. I just got to be careful.
All right. Then with that, you're accepting your Apple sponsorship. You'll be sent these prototypes. Locked in with Apple, State Farm, Mucinex, Pepsi, Subway, and Fender thus far. All right, I got 2 more questions for you. This is the $250,000 question. You can either take home your $100K and leave, or sponsored by Kit Kat. Every time you hear "Give me a break," a random one of your bones breaks.
Oh my God. That's horrible.
Or sponsored by Jawbusters. Every time you hear "break it down," you have to break someone's jaw.
Oh my God. Okay. I legitimately just want to walk away and just take that 100,000.
These are both phrases that honestly these days aren't super common. You don't super common hear "give me a break," and you know, like "let me break it down for you." You don't hear "break it down" too often. But either sponsored by Kit Kat, something of yours is being broken, or sponsored by Jawbusters, you're breaking someone else's jaw.
No, this is hard. See, I would, if I knew it were like, it's my toe, whatever, right. I'd probably go with that. But the fact that it's at any bone, so like, I mean, like it could be it could be my clavicle, it could be my leg, it could be an arm, it could be my skull.
And you have some experience with broken bones now to like, you know, have
right. I have the context.
You know,
that's the thing, and like the actual pain of the break wasn't bad, but if it's random and it's a bone that there's some bones it would hurt a lot more, and then there's a lot of inconvenience that comes with that as well. So,
I will say that the majority of your bones, I forget, it's like almost half your bones are like in your hands or something like that. I'm not a bone doctor, but most of your bones are like in your hands and feet. So when you kind of, just to kind of like add a little bit more to it, it's like on a scale of like 0 to however many bones we have, like 200 something, the random factor, it's more likely to be like a hand bone.
But that's playing the odds though.
Yeah,
it's still playing the odds. So, but I gotta break someone's jaw? If someone says break it down, I mean, no one really ever says break it down, though.
You just have to, like, turn on someone and just pop them square in the jaw with all your might.
Oh, my. You know what? This is gonna make me sound so selfish, but I would much rather just punch somebody in the frickin' face. I don't want to break any more bones. So, I can't believe I'm saying this. But
it's that moral dilemma again.
It is a moral dilemma. I think I'm going to break someone else's jaw and just be like, listen, I'm sorry. You said it. I'll pay for the damages. And then I will just knock them out.
You are collecting enough sponsorships at this point, and you probably could maybe just pay for the damages. Like, I busted your jaw.
Exactly.
I'll take care of the bill. You're probably going to sue me, but...
Right. So just, I'll cover some of the costs. Yep, that's it. I'm going to do it, man.
Costs. I'll cover some of the costs. Not all $100. Here's a Benjamin. Sorry about that.
Yeah, here's $50. Go get yourself a decent haircut.
Shouldn't have said break it down.
Right.
All right, then you're locking in your Jawbusters sponsorship, busting jaws, as well
busting jaws and taking names.
For sure. Your sponsorship also with Apple, State Farm, Mucinex, Pepsi, Subway, and Fender. Final question. We're at the $1 million question. You can go home with your 250 big ones, 250K. Or, this one I feel like is probably pretty easy, but I just loved the concept. I had to spitball it to you. All right.
Okay.
Every time someone asks, what would you do for a Klondike bar sponsored by Klondike? You have to literally kill somebody.
Jesus. Okay.
You have to plan a murder because that's what you would do for a Klondike bar.
And execute. Like, I have to do it. Like, I can't just plan it. I'm doing it, right?
Yeah, you're going to plan it and have to execute on this.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Klondike sponsored hit. Or...
Good Lord. Okay.
That's pretty severe. But
yeah, I'd say so.
Or, sponsored by Twinkie, one day you will die. We all do. One day you'll be dead. Yeah. You have no choice in how you're being disposed of afterward. You will be buried in a Twinkie coffin.
That's awesome.
A full Twinkie, the shell, the cream, the whole thing, you will be buried in a Twinkie.
It really is kind of the ultimate, the ultimate sponsorship.
It will be
I will
publicized.
forever be in a Twinkie.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. That's funny. I mean, that is easy, but good Lord, took a dark turn, man. But before I answer,
think about it, though.
I do want to say this. Think about all the things I'll be doing. So I'll be having to break someone's jaw while I'm sticky in Pepsi in booty shorts.
Yes.
There's a long combination of things here.
This is true. This is true.
And maybe on my way to work that day, before I had to punch my coworker or something, I had
Subway
to run over a
sandwich
fire
in hand.
hydrant.
Run over a fire hydrant.
What a day that would be. So, yeah, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'd rather be buried in the Twinkie.
This was an easy one, I think, but just the idea was funny enough that I
the idea of Klondike, saying, listen, we need to really get sales up here. These are high stakes, but let's do it. So that's funny. Wow, $1 million though.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. You've done it.
This is awesome.
You've got so many sponsorships here.
Yeah.
From Twinkie, Jawbusters, Apple, State Farm, Mucinex, Pepsi, Subway, and Fender. You will be wearing Fender booty shorts, eating Subway at least once a week for all your meals. Bathing, right? Bathing in Pepsi. Visited by the Mucinex blob every time you're sick. Occasionally performing State Farm demanded accidents. Sending accidental photos of yourself to the internet through Apple prototype phones. Breaking jaws, sponsored by Jawbusters, and one day eventually being buried in a Twinkie coffin.
You know what I just realized?
Yeah.
What if I picked the Klondike company and then Apple took a picture of me committing the murder and it's leaked? That would have been terrible.
Still sponsored though.
At least I'm still sponsored. Yeah, you're right. Oh,
if
that
anybody
was fun.
while you're in prison is like, man, what I would do for a Klondike bar, and you're like, I have to kill somebody.
It's like, oh God. Here we go.
God. It doesn't stop. All right, you did it for $1 million. Ding, ding,
Woo!
ding. You have become a millionaire once again. No shame. Never have walked away thus far. And not only $1 million, but all these sponsorships. I can only imagine the dough you're just rolling in now.
I'm happy to be rolling in it. I'm going to hop in this dough and then go right to the Pepsi bath and just let the Pepsi soak up into the dough.
I love it. Any final words besides? No, I guess those were your final words. Any other final words?
No, if you could just call me Billy, I think that's it.
All right, Billy. This has been Profoundish. Thank you all so much for listening. Billy, where can we find you?
You can find me at billyboy.com.
Yeah,
that's my, I'm just kidding. Billyboy.com, it probably is a website, but no, go to alexduquette.net. It's got all my stuff. You can buy my CD there. You can listen to my music there as well. If you just want to kind of give it a listen. You can see all the medleys that I make. And you can listen to both my podcasts. One is the Two-Piece Podcast, and the other one is Profoundish. So if you're looking for a new place to listen, you can do it there too. What about you?
I'm Weston Hasty. You can find my stuff at westonhasty.com. I also have a podcast called A Hasty Podcast. If you're just looking for podcasts to listen to, this one, Two-Piece, Hasty Podcast, we got lots of them. I also run a gaming channel over at Magic Man Mo on YouTube and a poetry blog at hastilymadedecision.com. Follow me on Twitter at Weston Hasty or Instagram at Weston Hasty. That's me. You've been listening to...
And now you have to do Profoundish.
I know.
You're always good at it. You're always best at it.
Do you want to take it this time?
Okay.
Do you want to do it?
You know what?
Do it.
You know what? Yeah, let me give it a shot. I do this stuff for my own content, so I don't know why I act like I can't do it. But I just like having you do it, I guess. I think I get lazy. But yeah, Profoundish. Make sure, first of all, wherever you're listening, thank you for listening. But also, we're available on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, all kinds of places. You can check it out. Make sure wherever you're at, you subscribe, you like, you follow, you leave a rating. And feel free to join in on our conversations. On our Spotify specifically, we usually have a question that's prompted. Feel free to ask or answer that question. We'd love to chat with you. Or leave a comment on YouTube. That would go a long way, too. You can also follow us on social media at Profoundish Pod. So if you'd like to see, we have fun little recaps of some of our episodes and where we kind of have little shorts and we talk about our stuff. So follow us there too. And did I miss anything, or how was that? Was that decent?
I think you did fantastic. I don't know what you were worried about.
I'm so nervous.
Thank you all so much for listening to Profoundish. Until next time, goodbye.
Hey, before you say goodbye, I'm sorry. Could you call me Alex?
Oh, I mean, if you insist, sure.
All right, thanks. Okay, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye. His name's Alex.
No, it's Billy, you idiot.
I'm calling you Steve now.